Right, okay, I'm going to start chatting in the hope that you can all hear me. I've got a delay, which is unnerving me a little bit. This is the first time I've done a Facebook Live, and I can see my face, and I'm delayed, and it's 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 just unnerving me slightly. So I have got 4 of my friends. Give us a wave, guys. My friends are here to share their experiences of their 11 plus journey. I've got 3 year 6 children who sat and were successful in gaining a school place of their choice last year. And then I've got Elizabeth, who is year 5 and currently in the journey now. So I'm not quite sure how to share. I'm not quite sure how to share my documents on this live. So what I'll do is I'll just tell you a little bit about me first. My name is Mandy Broomhead, and I am Heckmondwike Tutors, along with a couple of other teachers. We prepare children for their 11 plus examination, CEM style. Tree, would you like to say a few words?
Okay, yeah. Okay, so these are my tips, well, our tips on how to study for like the final 3 months of the exam. Well, to start, you need to focus on your weaknesses, such as, for example, if you're like struggling with, let's say, percentages, and then you excel in two-digit multiplication. I'm not sure you should be doing two-digit multiplication every day. Focus on the main weakness, that is percentages, of course. Yeah, and make sure you don't spend hours on a question. So make sure you in a test, make sure you answer the questions you're sure of first, and then maybe go back to the hard ones. So, for instance, like I don't know, there's like a question like 10,000 take away one. You can answer that quite like simply, and then maybe move on to the harder ones. Like, not necessarily this is hard for you, but like if it is, like 75 times multiplied by 360 or something like that.
Are you able to share your screen, Shri?
Yeah. Here.
Do you want to talk us through it?
Okay. Yeah, so our names are Shri, Fatima, and Jessie, and we did attend the Heckmonwike test. Yeah, and these are our like 4 or 5 tips. Well, I've already gone through 1 and 2, and make sure yeah. So right here it says, if say for example you have 3, like say you have 3 questions left to answer in like a certain section in a mock test or the actual test itself, and then there's like 10 seconds left to answer them. Just take an educated guess for every single one of them. Don't leave them unanswered, because if you take an educated guess, then you actually have a chance of actually getting it right. Number 3, make sure you revise a lot, because well, yeah, that's just a key thing you need to practice. Well, I would say practice for maybe a good 2 hours a day, and vary the subject you're studying often. Because, like, for example, like focus on maths for a week or maybe a couple of days, and then switch over to English, then go to NVR, so on, so on. Don't spend like weeks on a subject, because it might not leave room for you to practice any other topics, which could be a fatal issue. And then for number 4, make sure you have all the right stationery before you start. Don't start the mock test or the actual test itself and then say, "Where's my rubber? Someone get me my rubber." This is how we all found the test and how we dealt with problems we faced. We only have really one thing to tell you. The more you revise, the easier you'll find it. This is the key to unlocking the door of passing the test. Study, revise, study, revise.
A fa- Fantastic, Shri. Thank you ever so much. I just like to. I've worked out how to share my screen now, and so I will do that and talk to you quickly. It's a learning curve for me. So the reason for this meeting is we had a mock test this morning, a practice test that lots and lots of you came to, and if you were there this morning, and here we have a little bit about me. I am a qualified teacher. I've been teaching for 25 years, mostly spent in year 5 and 6. I've been an 11 plus tutor for over 10 years. Over 500 of our students have achieved places in their chosen school. We write all of our own materials. We have designed a bespoke curriculum, and we run weekly classes, booster classes, advanced classes, creative writing, and mock tests. What to be aware of? You need to be aware that the test is timed very strictly, so be prepared to develop stamina. All of your math skills will be tested in the year 5 and 6 curriculum. The test is weighted approximately 50% verbal and 25% each of NVR and maths, and it's almost all multiple choice. We've heard from Shri, and Elizabeth is also here to tell us a little bit about how she is preparing for her 11 plus. Once we've heard from Elizabeth, I'll show you some of our preparation materials, the kind of thing you should be using with your children.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth, and I am preparing to do my tests, my exams, and how I'm preparing, I'm doing daily revision, maths and English, and then also doing science. Maths and English are the key points of the test. You don't normally do science in a test, it's normally NVR, maths and English. I'm mostly focusing on English because that's not my strong point, but I'm really good at maths. So, like what you said, you're supposed to be focusing on your weaknesses rather than your strengths, so you can get way better. And I'm currently attending Heckmonwike, and before I started doing it, I had no idea what NVR was, or nonverbal reasoning, but I've learned all about shapes, cubes, all different things like that, and patterns. And I was really shocked how speedy you have to prepare for the exam, because I started doing it a bit late, so I had to learn to do it really quickly. I had to polish on my times tables because times tables is like the foundation of maths, and doing daily maths revision in English, and also reading a lot is really good because you can get amazing vocabulary from books, like classics mainly, and real stories. And also doing comprehension because you can learn new stories and answer questions.
Fantastic, Elizabeth. Thank you ever so much. Fatima, would you like to share your experiences, sweetheart?
Okay, now that's yeah. My experience on the test was, first of all, you did a great job preparing me, Mandy. The words that you did were really helpful, and so did Mark as well. His teaching methods are absolutely wonderful. They're even better than you get at school. You should really go here. And the test was me. It was difficult. And it was very difficult, and the tip is, my big tip is, don't get cocky, because there's one person I knew, who should be named unnamed, was really cocky, and they were so confident gonna pass the test, they didn't revise at all, and you know what happened, they didn't get in. They weren't that ecstatic that they didn't get in, but poor them. They're going to a good school though, and that should also be unnamed. Yeah, that's it. That's my experience pretty much. I haven't got that much to say.
Jessie, do you want to share your experience about what was on the test? Do you want to tell us what was on the test that you can remember of the CEM type of test?
I didn't really find the test that hard. Now, you might find it a bit hard, but I think I was over practicing a bit. But on the test, there's like all different types of things that if I didn't study it, I might not have known some of it. So yeah, study a lot. That helps. But as well, there was lots of English things that well, I did know how to do, but I just needed sort of like upping the level at. But yeah, that's like all I remember about the test really.
Can you tell we're from Yorkshire, guys? I think Jessie outlines our Yorkshire heritage very well. Thank you, Jessie. I'm just going to share a couple of our resources with you, and this is how we prepare our children. So each week we have a weekly set of resources where we have some vocabulary activities like this. So we try every week to build 20 to 40 words. Each week we learn 40 new words. This week particularly we have focused on some shuffled sentences, then a comprehension on Stanley Cook the poet and some of his poems. Some questions relating to that, all again multiple choice. This week we're focusing on cubes and nets. Then some mental arithmetic because we are now in the revision phase. Some longer maths, some data questions. And then again, using some vocabulary in their own sentences. We have a booster session every week, which again, we use more mental and longer maths. We are now using some advanced mental arithmetic that lots of the children are finding really comfortable. And again, some more comprehension, some vocabulary activities, synonyms, antonyms, more closed procedures. Moving into the summer holidays, we have 15 summer days of revision where we focus on, really, it's a whole test broken down. And you can see from all of this is just the maths part of the revision days that we host. And here we have some verbal. Lots and lots and lots of activities. Then we have 10 mock tests each year. Some of you sat my test that I put together, especially for the 11 plus journey this morning. I put it together. There were a few teething troubles at the end, so not teething troubles, a few end troubles. Thank you to those people who helped me out. The answers are now in the files as well as the whole test. And this is very similar to what we did this morning, a range of tasks that cover all the areas that could possibly appear. Each of our tests is completely different with different tasks. And this is how we at Heckmondwike Tutors prepare our children for the rigours of the test that is to come. The vast majority of our children are successful in achieving a place at the school of their choice. And there's no secret formula other than hard work, natural ability, stamina, and real desire to do well. And I'm hoping now with the 11 plus journey that we will be able to share lots of our resources, meet many more new faces, and help you in the preparation in these last couple of months. Lots of people are asking what the standard is and what the pass mark would be, and would my child have been successful if this was the test. Basically, anything upwards of 60% is a good score. Obviously, the closer you get to 100%, the more secure you would feel. We have some children that are now scoring 90% plus, and they are obviously feeling really comfortable, and I would probably put a bet on them achieving the standard of their desired school. But at the end of the day, it is it's not a pass mark, it is a ranked order. So if there was 2,000 people sitting any test and there were 200 places, it would be the top 200 scores, and it's as simple as that. It's weighted and standardized according to age. So if you have got an August born child, they are at an advantage. We believe about 10 marks extra will be allocated for an August born child. But really, that's as much as we know. The schools are very secretive about giving out any information relating to pass marks. I have got lots of historical data from previous tests, and our children who are scoring over 60%, the vast majority, over 90% of those children went on to be successful. We are now writing GL materials for the coming year. So from September, we will be offering a GL course as well as a CEM course. And as Saba said, make sure you look at the answers, you go back and work on your strengths and weaknesses, areas that you need to develop further. If you got 2 out of 40 on a short maths task, that is obviously the area to focus on. So somebody's asked, in the real test, is there a mix of all subjects in each of the 2 papers? Yes. Shri, would you like to answer that question about what you found on the test? If you give a breakdown of what you found on the test, Shri.
Well, there was a variety of things. There was maths, there was like NVR, there was verbal, there was like plain English. There's there were shuffle sentences and the minor like subjects like shuffle sentences and.
What about the timings, Shri? What about the timings?
Right, yeah. For some of them, you had at least like a minute to answer each question. Yeah, but I remember specifically for the second NVR, we got 11 minutes to answer an entire 32 questions. So that's like, yeah, so that's like 20 seconds for a question. Well, I might have done the math wrong there. But still. Yeah, and the main thing's verbal reasoning.
So, Fatima, what do you think about the time that you were given for each task? Was it manageable, Fatima?
It was manageable, but one thing I vividly remember is that the comprehension, we had half the amount of minutes as we had questions. So if you had 10 questions, you had 5 minutes. And because I was basically seated, and I was surrounded by all my friends from my school, we talked about it in the break, and half of them said they nearly completed it and left one question out, and the other half said they just managed to complete it. So if I were you, I'd work on your comprehension. Yeah. Even if you're really good at it, just keep revising. Yeah.
Thank you, Fatima. So that's from Fatima. Work on your comprehension. Well, guys, I hope that's answered your questions, and I've had a very, very busy day. If anyone... Those that joined me this morning, we were there for a very long time, and it's been a very fun but exhausting day. if you want to email us at Heckmondwike Tutors, we have got another 5 mock tests coming up in the next couple of weeks, and our revision and summer days. You are welcome to join us, and the strategy used throughout year 5 is exactly as Elizabeth. We just teach the national curriculum, focusing on enriched vocabulary and reading lots of books. But the maths, we are very, very structured, and the NVR, we are also very structured. On today's test, that we have no data for today's test because it was a brand new test, but the level is very similar on all of our tests. So we are looking at upwards of 60%, but obviously the higher the better, to feel secure. Shuffle sentences, Shri. What were your strategies with shuffle sentences?
Well, first, look for past tense and present tense, like, I don't know, and then, like, second, like, yeah, so, like, there, and there, like, which type of there could it be? And, well, sometimes, if you look at, they put, like, a capital letter, so you can use that. Like, yeah, so, like, say the had a capital letter at the start of it, that's probably going to be the first word in the sentence. Well, that's all my strategies. What else is there? I can't really think of any more.
Thank you, Shri. Does anybody else have, Jessie, what were your shuffle sentence strategies?
So you've got to make sure that it like makes sense after each word, and make sure you're quite sure that that's like there, because like if you're doing like a factual one, because I remember I did one about the planets. So if you think about like I think it were the planets that were closest to the sun. If you think about which planets are actually closest to the sun, you can like determine which will go first.
Fatima, have you got something to say, sweetheart?
Thank you for noticing me. Yeah, I was about to say, sometimes they give you clear giveaways, like starting a word with a capital letter, so you know that it goes at the beginning of a sentence. Or if you can't find the whole sentence together, because that's happened before, try and find phrases you are 100% certain will go together. Then you might get 2 or 3 phrases, and you can just arrange them, and it just makes it a lot easier rather than having to arrange several words. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you all so much, and I'm going to let these young children who have all had their parents' permission to come and join us today and enjoy the rest of their Saturday evening. So I will see you all soon, hopefully, at my next mock test. Goodbye, everybody.
Okay, bye, Mandy. Thank you for having me.
Bye.